Remember, XQC has a protective order against him, right? If you go to the court docket, right? You guys don't see the one I see. I see a more detailed version of it. But if you go to the court docket, this is the case summary, right? And typically, if you've been following XQC, you would notice that there would be a protective order like in this corner, like, hey, additional case, protective order, right? And what happens is it's gone. You don't even see it.
Say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
That would cause you to pause for some concern, maybe do some critical thinking and be like, why would this case just disappear? And I thought it was odd myself. So what did I do?
Dig, bro. You like to dig.
I went and requested some stuff. I'm like, let me see what I can get. What'd I get? Another court document that I'm not supposed to have, probably. I don't know. I don't want to say that. So this is in order to seal the court records, right? On July 26, 2023, court sua sponte ordered that the records in the above number case entitled be sealed to protect the safety of the parties. The parties by and through their counsel agreed on the record to the records being sealed. You're like, wow, this is very odd that it got sealed. Okay, yeah, I do find it odd. And like right as rain, the judge, she signed off on it, okay? And she signed it 7 weeks later, which was odd because, you know, if someone's in danger, you would probably seal it day one, right? You might be like, hey, I'm going to seal it day one. But I started looking, I'm like, okay. And hey, these documents shall not be opened or released except on appropriate court order. She put an X and said, hey, the documents/orders are available to law enforcement and any agency needed to comply with any and all court orders. Okay, seems excessive. Hey, but we must protect all parties. But there's a word in this document, if you will, if you don't understand, you like sua sponte. Now, keep in mind, this does not show up anymore. And you remember, XQC is a very, very violent and dangerous person. He should be in battery and intervention classes. He's a menace. You know, he's been accused of family violence.
Flashback.
Finds that there is clear and present danger of family violence unless XQC is ordered to refrain from doing certain acts as shown below. Now, look, I said, look, this is sad days for XQC, but it's almost over. Hang in there, little bro. You gon' come out on top. The court previously found that there was an immediate need to issue a temporary ex parte protective order to prevent family violence and to protect Adept, and that the orders were in the best interest of her. Court finds that temporary ex parte protective order may be extended for up to 20 days pursuant to the Texas Family Code. Now look, guys, I put this thing right here. Amber Heard got a protective order against Johnny Depp, and look how that shit turned out. So don't think just because there's a protective order, it automatically means guilty.
End of flashback.
But this sua sponte, this word just kept bothering me. I'm just like, what does sua sponte mean? So I went and found a video, guys. Now bear with me. It's AI, but listen, and then we're gonna look at something. We're gonna look at something very critical. Let's listen, see if you guys catch it.
The Latin phrase sua sponte means of its own will, and is used to describe a situation where illegal action is undertaken voluntarily, without request or prompting. Most commonly, the term refers specifically to decisions made by a court independently, not...
Okay, so if you have been following, the court decided to do this. Not Sammy, not X. The court decided to do it. Sua sponte. Keep going.
In response to specific requests from the parties involved in the case. Courts acting sua sponte must be able to show legal justification for their decisions. There are a number of situations where a court may undertake an action of its own volition.
Okay. Listen closely. When will a court invoke sua sponte?
Judges can also dismiss a case sua sponte if they feel there is not enough of a case to move forward, as in the instance of a frivolous suit. In these situations,
did you hear that? Did you guys hear it? Maybe you didn't hear it. Maybe you didn't hear what they said. You didn't hear what they said. It's okay. What did they say? I'll rewind it.
Judges can also dismiss a case sua sponte if they feel there is not enough of a case to move forward, as in the instance of a frivolous suit. In these situations, judges must show how and why they are making the decision to dismiss the case, as the parties in the case have an interest in having the matter heard. Dismissals sua sponte are intended to keep cases out of the legal system when they are clearly not appropriate for court, with the goal of preventing high court expenses associated with cases that go nowhere. When a judge makes a decision sua sponte, the parties involved do not need to be consulted, although they may be given warning that the judge is preparing to make a decision.
Whoa, this is mind-blowing. Look, guys, don't get too hype. Do not get too hype. Because when you go back to the court document, it says to protect the safety of the parties. However, we know that the divorce is sealed, but we can still see it. And I'm like, let me look up sua sponte. Let me look up sua sponte. Let me go to Cornell Law School. I think they're reputable. They seem reputable. I can't get into it. What does it say? Latin for one's own accord voluntarily, used to indicate that the court has taken notice of an issue on its own motion without prompting or suggesting it from either party. As a general rule, where grounds for dismissal exist, an action is subject to dismissal on a court's own motion. Wow. Gives me the pause for concern is the fact that the case is completely gone. Completely gone. You can't even look it up. Even when I requested it, I had to request it from memory because it's gone. And people were like, hey, it's gone. It's off this case. It's off that case to protect the parties. All right. Well, the divorce is sealed, but it's still available. So why is the protective order with this monster running the streets of Texas gone? And I'm not trolling. People are like, yo, you trolling? No, I'm not trolling. I looked it up. They usually do sua sponte for dismissals, and it's going everywhere. So what's going to happen, right? How can we tell if this case gets dismissed? If I ever get an interview with XQC, or anyone gets an interview with XQC, you only ask him one question or two. Hey, were you ever convicted of family violence? That's one question.
Nigga, no.
If the answer is no, you can be like, all right, well, maybe he lying. Okay, were you ever required to attend any battery or intervention classes? 2, done. If he says no and no, it got dismissed. And for the safety of the parties, could you imagine the backlash it would get or someone may receive if they were to accuse someone of family violence and go through the whole motions to get a protective order just for it to get dismissed? Could you imagine how upset some fans may be that maybe the streamer that they look up to was accused of family violence and they did not do it? That would be egregious. What don't you think? Like, look, here you go right here. You can read it for yourself. You can look up sua sponte for yourself, but it's going everywhere. It's going everywhere. You can't find it. Sua sponte, the court decided on its own 7 weeks later, 7 weeks after the protective order was filed. And remember, they've updated this protection order 3 times. They visited this case, and now all of a sudden, it's sealed. Look, man, y'all can say but if this gets tossed out, the Amber Heard Johnny Depp comparisons would be validated immensely.